Hello, and welcome back to episode 3. We're on 3 now. Yes. Yeah, 3. And today, we're talking about some of the best beginner cameras. I know if you're starting out, it can be tricky. There's a lot on the market. And I'll be honest, as someone who does this full time, it gets expensive very quick. Like, really quick. And there's so many options, so many choices that I don't want you to be disappointed with your purchase. So I'm going to just lay it out. I'm not brand loyal. So I'm not going to recommend a company over another company if they don't do a better job than the last one, if that makes any sense. So we're just going to be spitballing. We'll start off with, it might be one of my favorites, but I'll do my best to not show any sort of bias, if you will. So I would have to say, first off, one of my favorite beginner companies that you just get a lot of bang for buck. And they've blown up over the past, year or two? I would say 2 to 3 years. They've just kind of like really taken over a good chunk of the market, and for good reason. And that's Fujifilm. Fujifilm makes phenomenal beginner cameras. They are not overly technical. Everything is very straightforward. And they're super affordable. Like, some of the cameras I would probably recommend, if you can find them, I recommend searching Facebook Marketplace. If you're getting into the whole thing, this is one of the best options, is Facebook Marketplace. You don't need brand new gear. I know that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, because you want the latest, you want the greatest, and you definitely don't want somebody else's old camera. But trust me when I say buy it used. You can find and save so much money. Like, if you find something like an XT2 or even an XT3, these have just been shoved out onto the market. For some reason, people don't want them anymore. Why? I have no idea. They're still great cameras. The autofocus is decent and can definitely get the job done. And glass. Like, we'll just get right into glass. Fujifilm's glass is phenomenal and does a great job at just giving somewhat of a look. They're not perfect, but my personal favorite from the Fujifilm line is the 35 1.4. It gives you that 50 millimeter full frame field of view. Anyways, so glass. My personal favorite one is the 35 millimeter f 1.4. It gives it's a perfect like mix of usable autofocus along with like some nice character in there. It's a beautiful piece of glass, and it's nice, compact, keeps your setup nice and small. That paired with an XT3 or XT30, if you can find a good deal on one, that little kit right there should run you right about like $900, maybe $1,000. I know if that's expensive and steep, I get it. But if you're wanting to really jump into the space, buy something one and done, that's a great kit. There are still professionals that use that kit. I've used it at a wedding before and captured a whole wedding on an XT30 and 35 f1.4. It's more than capable. So throwing that out there might cost you a little bit, but it will very much take you from beginner all the way through to professional work, 100%. Anyways, there's lots of options you can explore in there. There's, like I said, tons of great glass. There's even third-party glass. Like if you're one of those people who just wants that do-it-all lens, like that dad zoom, the Tamron 17-70 f2.8 very much can do that. It's a little bit on the bigger side. You could snag that lens for about $600 used on the Facebook Marketplace, if you can find one. Pair that with an XT30, maybe an XT30 Mark II, XT3, heck, even an XT4. Perfect little travel setup, and it's a great do-it-all little setup as well. So, just saying. great Fujifilm, highly recommended. It's phenomenal for beginners that are stepping into the space and want to have something that's definitely better than their phone. Great starter, super affordable. All right, next up is, let's say affordability isn't like too high on your list, but user experience is. Let's say you're a person that doesn't really know much. Not that you can't learn anything. Everything's on YouTube, trust me. I'll say that if you are like, I just need everything as basic and laid out as simple as possible. I know I just ranted on my last episode a little bit about this brand, but Canon. To this day, if you are beginning photography and getting started, the best beginner user experience still is Canon. It is what it is. As much as like I have my gripes with them about their higher end professional stuff, beginner wise, dude, they have it in the bag. You can find used like Canon cameras all over the place. You can find an entire setup for under $1,000 pretty easy, if you're willing to work with older glass and stuff like that. The Canon R7, great little APS-C camera. You can even find a Canon RP, which was apparently noted as one of Canon's worst cameras. But if you're just getting into the space, it's a phenomenal camera, and you definitely want some better quality than your iPhone. That camera is full frame. It's got, I want to say, 24 megapixels. It's around that. You can slap the more affordable 35 RF 1.8 lens on there. Boom. You have a great little starter kit. It's super small, great for travel. Will definitely take better photos than your iPhone. And the quality is there. It might have a little bit of frustrations with some hunting autofocus here and there. But other than that, you're just getting started. There's no reason to get frustrated with like super speed autofocus and how sticky it is. Like, learn the basics. It's perfect for a little portrait session. I've used it in one. It will more than easily get the job done. Yeah, so Canon, they have, like I said, very affordable options and different things like that. Oh, I forgot to mention, back on Fujifilm, they do have the recipes is pretty much what made them super popular. So if you're a person who just like, I just want to take photos, I don't care about editing, I have to highly recommend Fujifilm because they've got that system down pretty darn good. So if you're looking for something straight out of camera that you don't have to fiddle with, edit, or anything like that, they pretty much take the cake. Straight out of camera looks wise, like you can get some beautiful, absolutely beautiful images. And there's whole pages dedicated to making custom little presets inside the camera. So the support is there as well. So just saying, forgot that note on them. Anyways, back to Canon. So Canon kind of wins that affordability, usability. It's definitely something that's very highly recommended for portraits. The skin tones are very good straight out of the camera, and when playing with the raw files, you have a good skin tone. It's like kind of natural looking, and there is a little bit of warmth to the images I've noticed, but yeah, they're great. That's Canon. All right, third up is something that I personally own right now, and kind of getting more of that full experience with them, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit, so it's kind of hard not to recommend a lot, but that's Sony. You can call me a Sony fanboy, that's fine. I've pretty much owned every camera system at this point, and we'll throw it out there. Their autofocus is phenomenal. Unless you have the money to buy Canon's new autofocus system in the R5 Mark II or the R1, I have to say, Sony's autofocus is second to none. If you're excluding those two new Canon products, because if you're a beginner, you're most likely not buying those, Sony hands down, best autofocus. It is wild, especially because you can get it at a much cheaper price than Canon's. Like, if you want good, snappy autofocus at a good price, but you want I'll just say it, the best social media camera. Let's be honest, if you're getting into it, that's one of the things you're probably going to use it for. It's got to be the ZVE1. It's a monster, dude. It has so much power packed into that tiny camera, so much so that it is my B camera when I shoot weddings. I know some people will probably frown at that or whatever. It is just a beast. It really is. Like, it literally has the same sensor as the A7S III, the FX3, and the FX6. Same sensor. Here's the crazy part. They didn't even limit the sensor. Yeah, the thing that normally people rag on Canon about, the cripple hammer, not here. It doesn't exist. Which is wild to me because the FX6 is what, $6,000, $7,000, something like that. I don't know. I know it's up there. But the FX3, what, $3,500? A7S III, still above $2,500. Like, to have that same sensor that's in those high-end cameras in something that's right at, like, if you buy it used, it's under $2K, is insane. Absolutely insane. It also still has that interface hot shoe, so you can plug in any of their crazy good mics, and just have all those features built in without having to use any sort of cables or anything like that. It's crazy, dude. Like, I'll just give you the cheat code right now. S-Cinetone, and then find a user LUT that you really like, that's like a finishing LUT. Dude, you'll get your favorite colors so simply when it comes to video. It's outrageous. The AI autofocus in that camera, too, is just it's a beast. And I know I'm just, like, throwing so much praise and everything their way, but they deserve it. For that camera, it's a huge dent in the industry when it comes to affordability in cameras. Like, there just hasn't been that many pro features in a little tiny camera like that in a very long time. Like, the A7S III, or the A7 III, sorry, was a huge wrench in the system as well when it was released, because nobody else had put that many pro features in a camera that affordable. It just didn't happen. So with the ZVE1, the ZVE10, sorry, some of these freaking names are terrible, but the ZVE10 Mark II, brand new camera, APS-C, $1,000. Insane, packed with all the same features as the ZVE1, but with a smaller sensor. Like, it's a huge bang for your buck. Super powerful little camera. It's just, Sony does it right, and there's tons of glass. And if you don't want to spend the extra money on the G or G Master glass, I understand. I have a hard time doing that too. There's Tamron, there's Sigma, there's Viltrox, there's tons, and I literally mean tons of other glass out there that you can save money on and buy that's still extremely good and usable. So, yeah, that's Sony. I know I just gave them a crap ton of praise. Keep in mind, though, like, fair warning, if you buy some of the older cameras like the Sony A7 or the A7 II or like something like the 6500, there are some not so desirable colors straight out of camera when taking photos or video. It just has like a little bit of cast in the skin tones that is not the most desirable, but if you're planning on shooting raw and editing those photos, that kind of goes away. So don't completely let it deter you, but just know that that's there. All right, and last but most certainly not least,
All right.
in my opinion,
And
when it comes to
last but
affordability,
most
and
certainly not
more
least,
so
in
newcomer
my opinion, when
to
it
the
comes to
game that's
affordability,
really been
and
taking
more so
giant strides.
newcomer
That
to the game that's
I've been
really
extremely
been
tempted to
taking
pick up
giant
and
strides.
try out myself.
I've been
have
extremely
not yet,
tempted to pick
but
up
I
and
really,
try
really
out
want to.
myself.
And that's
I have not yet,
Panasonic
but
Lumix.
I really, really
Like,
want to.
I'm gonna be honest, kind of
Lumix.
came out of nowhere. They've always been like a huge presence in the video world.
Kind of came out of nowhere.
But me
They've
being
always
a
been
photographer
like a huge
primarily, and then
presence
doing
in the video world,
just never really
but
looked
me
that
being
direction.
a photographer primarily,
Mainly
and then
because
doing
like
video,
I do enjoy
just never
autofocus.
really
I'm
looked
not
that
gonna lie.
direction.
It makes my life a
mainly
lot
because
easier.
like I do enjoy autofocus. I'm not gonna lie.
This
it
new
makes my life a lot
like,
easier.
Lumix S9
But
looks
this new
phenomenal.
like Lumix S9,
you could say it's a bandwagon. I don't even have the camera.
phenomenal.
Like I haven't
you could
used
say it's
one, but
bandwagon.
watching
I don't have the
deep
I don't even
diving,
have the
doing
camera.
research and stuff.
Like,
This
I haven't
camera
used one,
looks
but
freaking
watching
awesome.
Deep diving, doing
And
research and stuff.
the price point,
this
like,
camera
come on.
looks freaking
Great
awesome.
price point. Are there
And
features that I would
the
probably
price
like
point,
to
like,
see,
come
like a
on.
viewfinder
Great
and
price
an
point.
actual
Are
hot
there
shoe?
features that I would probably like
I
to
would
see,
like
like
that,
a viewfinder
but it's not
and
there,
an
so it is what
hot
it is.
shoe? Yeah,
I still think
I would like that.
for if
but
you're
it's
a
not
beginner,
there, so it is what it
and
is.
you want, or
I
you
still think
really want to step
for
up your
if you're a
content
beginner
creation game,
and you want
this camera
or you
is insane.
really want to step up your content
Like,
creation game,
full frame.
this camera
you get
is
to shoot
insane.
in open gate
Like,
video,
full
like
frame.
come on.
You get to
I think it's
shoot
24
in open
megapixels.
gate video, like
Phenomenal
come on.
and plenty
I
for
think it's 24
like
megapixels.
professional photography
Phenomenal
and anything
plenty
like
for,
that. Like
this
professional
camera photography
is stacked.
and anything
I will
like
say
that.
it.
Like
literally, it's missing
this
just a few
camera
of those little
is
things.
stacked.
But
I will
other
say
than
it.
that, like the price
Literally,
point,
it's
it's kind of
missing
hard
just
to
a few
argue.
of those little things.
And if you do want those
But
things, spend
other
a little
than
bit
that,
more
like,
and get the
price point,
S5
it's
Mark
kinda hard
II
to argue.
X or
And
S5
if you
Mark
do want
II.
those things, spend a little bit more and get the S5
their
Mark II
their lineup
X
is
or S5
quickly
Mark II.
becoming something very noteworthy.
Their lineup
especially
is
in
quickly becoming
affordability.
something very
Like,
noteworthy.
Their
especially
autofocus,
in
I'll be honest,
affordability.
it doesn't look like it's there.
Like,
I still haven't used it yet.
Their autofocus, I'll be
but
honest,
from
it
every
doesn't look
example
like
that
it's
I've
there.
seen
I
and
still
stuff
haven't
like that,
used it yet, but
it's definitely
from every
passable.
example that I've seen,
It will
and stuff
get the
like
job
that,
done.
It's definitely
but in
passable.
certain scenarios, I don't
will
know
get the
if I
job
would
done.
ever trust it.
But
So
in
I would
certain
probably
scenarios,
pull
I don't
focus
know
and
if
do
I would
manual
ever
focus for
trust it.
certain shots or
So
whatever.
I would probably pull
But
focus
again,
and do manual
when you're
focus
starting
for
out,
certain
these are
shots or
features
whatever.
that are
But
more
again,
so like if you
when
got
you're
the money
starting out,
and you want to
these are
splurge on it
features
and that means a lot
are
to you and helps
more
you,
so like
do
if
it.
you got the money and you want to
but
splurge
if you
on it
don't,
and that means a lot
save
to
the
you and
money,
helps you,
buy something
do it.
that you will have fun with
but if
and
you
enjoy
don't,
using.
save the money
because
buy
those are
something
huge,
that you will have
huge
fun
things.
with and enjoy using.
If the camera is not fun
because
for you to
those are
use
huge,
and it is not
huge things.
like a enjoyable
if the camera is not
experience
fun
for you,
to use and it
do
is
not buy
not
that camera.
like a enjoyable
Trust me,
experience
you will
for
capture
you,
images that you are more
do not
happy
buy
with
that
and everything
camera.
like that. With a camera
Trust me, you will capture
enjoy
images
using.
that you are more happy with and
So,
everything like that.
Just
with
to
a
kind of
camera
wrap this whole
you
one
enjoy
up,
using.
there are tons
So,
of options.
Just to kind of wrap this whole one
don't
up.
stay brand loyal.
There are
I'll throw
tons of
that out there.
options. Don't stay brand loyal.
Every camera company
I'll
does
throw that out
something
there.
special and unique.
Every
and
camera company
better
does
than
something
the last
special and
So,
unique.
When you
and
see
better
these
than
people
the
who
last
just
one.
absolutely
So,
love Canon and
when
will
you
never
see
leave, like,
these people who just
they're just
absolutely
messing
love
themselves
Canon
over, and they're
will
missing
never
out
leave,
on things
like,
that would very much
they're
make
just
their
messing
life
themselves
easier.
over, and they're
So,
missing out on
I don't
things
know.
that would very much make their life easier.
If there's
So,
anything I missed,
I don't know.
camera company wise, leave it down below. I'm
If
not
there's
including
anything
the
I missed,
iPhone for
camera
specific
company
reasons
wise,
because
leave it down below.
it's
I'm
a
not
phone.
including the iPhone
It's
for
not
specific
a
reasons because
full frame camera. It's
it's
not
a
an
phone.
APS-C camera.
It's not.
It is not
a
designed 100%
full frame
for this
camera.
world.
It's not a
like
APS-C
that.
camera.
So
It
if
is
you want
not
to step up your
designed
quality game,
100% for
any
this
of these
world
companies will
like
do.
that. So if you want to
if I
step up
missed
your quality
something,
game,
leave it below.
any of these companies
Other
will
than
do.
that, God bless you guys.
If
I
I
you
missed
have
something,
a phenomenal
leave it below.
day.
Other than
And
that,
it's
God
just
bless
the
you
best
guys.
freaking time
I
ever.
hope you have a phenomenal
On that note,
day.
peace.
And it's just the best freaking time ever. On that note, peace.